welcome to the Digitally Dreaming Off the Gridiron podcast. I'm your host, Asif Ali. I'm joined today by the co-host with the most, my fellow number 81, the number one target. Y'all already know him from IG, and if you don't, go check him out. Aram Bunctious, my boy, Aram Mahlon Kennard. Aaron, how you doing today, big dog?
I'm doing great, brother. We had a great day earlier.
Yes, sir.
Hitting the gridiron, like old times, man. So
old times, baby.
Like those good nostalgic memories, how we used to get out there. So just had a great President's Day because of that, day off. Got to hit the field, get a little exercise in, get our core workouts, all that, get our cardio and our stamina up. So yeah, it was great today.
You might recognize that jersey because you wore that jersey, but that's my now it's in the frame.
Yeah, the Falcon jersey.
Yeah, let me just give you a kind of little 360.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
love it.
Love it, yeah. And let me show you the top. So yeah.
Oh yeah, the legend up there, man.
Yes, sir.
That's you.
Appreciate you, big dog. So yeah, bro. I mean, yeah, great day today, great work, on your end. Obviously our reel is getting some views, so we'll see how many. Somehow the reel I just posted on IG, that basically got shared to Facebook. I don't even have Facebook right now, so I don't know how it got shared to Facebook. But that's how it's getting steam from people who I don't even know. So
that's nice.
Yeah. So obviously, even if people who we do know don't like our videos, I mean, fuck y'all. Someone else can like it.
Boom, bro.
Welcome.
You know how it is.
Yes, sir. So yeah, man, it's been a while since you've been on the show. So obviously, like you said, it's been over a year. We got out there like old times, like we talked about. But essentially, now let me first ask you, what have you been up to for the past year? I obviously took a 9-month break from social media for my own personal reasons. What have you personally been up to as well since we last connected on this platform?
So just like you, I also took a hiatus from social media, all social media platforms that I previously had, such as Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. I got rid of all of them. I was in a relationship, so that was something new for me last year, at the start of last year. And throughout the year, I found myself doing all sorts of various things. One, with work getting slow, especially with COVID, as an iron worker in the union, I actually stepped out and I started doing side work. I picked up a side job as a plumber. And that was just a way for me to learn and gain another skill in another trade. So that was like a great experience, honestly. It was at a time when, I was out of work and I had been out of work for a while as an iron worker. So I was starting to contemplate my future in the trade, how my longevity, how long the work was going to last, how long my job security would last. So I was struggling with that. And then somehow, the doors opened to me and I was praying for doors or praying for some answers or guidance. And I felt like, God led me into plumbing. And that's something I was always interested in, so that was just an awesome little gig I had picked up. And I was getting paid under the table and I was making great money at that time. Like almost, really, it was like better than the union. I was getting paid less, but because it was under the table without the taxes and all that, I was making the same money, just as good as like being in the union, So it was great. The guys even wanted to give me a truck. They really liked my work, my ethic, everything. They wanted to give me a company truck so I could stay with the company. But I had gotten a job call back from the union to work on the Golden Gate Bridge. And as I told them, that was one of the biggest opportunities I have come across in the union. So I was like, the Golden Gate Bridge is known across the world. It's worldwide. It's recognized. So I was like, everybody knows about that around the world. So I was like, to work on that, to say I worked on that, I was like, I got to take that opportunity. And they understood. So I went and did that. And it was a short kind of gig because I ended up breaking my finger out there. And I worked through that for 3 weeks. But when I told the bosses, it kind of created a conflict at work with us. So I took 2 weeks off to recover from that injury. And by the time I went back to work, they kind of had it out for me. And there was that kind of conflict with them as well. And since then, I've just been finding myself back in the union, back as an iron worker, and just trying to maintain and hold steady with the work. And I got out of that relationship, so that's another thing. That was a positive, because I started to realize how much that was weighing me down, and I definitely needed to take a step back. So yeah, and that's where I've been, just trying to work and just trying to stepping back from that relationship, just trying to reevaluate my life and trying to prioritize my goals and everything that I need to do for myself.
100%. No, and I appreciate you kind of, being transparent about that, right? Obviously, like you said, reprioritizing and reevaluating, I think is critical to self-development, I do think also kind of, with your experience in plumbing, you kind of learn from that experience, kind of what it takes, right? And also, but obviously, I think, if your fortunes were reversed, it is what it is, it's a great learning experience, something that you can add to your toolkit. And also, obviously personal relationships, I think a lot of these things, it's funny, there's so many parallels that cut across, our personal and professional lives that, when you think about it, even for me, right, it's just like I look at it, I'm like, wow, like, all these different things, whether it's football, whether it's my current world in technology consulting, whatever it is, whether it's me speaking, I'm actually going to be speaking, I believe this Wednesday, at another virtual summit. So, it does, these are, and I've been doing that, I've been involved with that, since I took my hiatus, right? I've been kind of getting networking outside of social media, in terms of like personal social media, but obviously really focusing on myself and really helping kind of expand my, obviously my actual career, outside of football, right? So essentially the reason I'm bringing this up is because I think a break is necessary. I think our generation, like, we are so hung up in how we're perceived and what we post on social media, and kind of, and obviously it is an outlet, I'm not going to say, it's not, it is a great outlet. It's great to be connected, right? Obviously, like, we reconnected thanks to it, because, for whatever reason, we just couldn't, we couldn't be connected, right? But outside of that, I just wanted to kind of bring that point forward, because I do think, a break is sometimes necessary. I think it's necessary.
Yeah, especially from social media, especially for the younger generations who can get caught up in the storm of what this all seems, and like, the perceived side of it,
the perception. Yeah,
how we want to take things, how it makes us feel.
Totally agree. That's a great way to start.
That's all ego related. But since I've come back onto social media, and it was only at the end of last year, so I haven't even been on there for more than half a year since. And I've also started to notice some of those patterns, like, wow, like I get caught up right back into, like, just trying to show like almost like a double life, you know, and it's like kind of makes me like, I started to realize why I stepped away from it, and why that was such a good thing, because when you ask me the question of what I've been up to, and then actually being able to explain it, and then wow, like looking back on it too, like wow, like as tumultuous as the year of 2021 seemed, especially with me like being in that relationship, and that was what was most rocky for me throughout the year. But beyond that, some of just the experiences and the opportunities I came across were just magnificent, and I wouldn't trade that in for anything, and I wouldn't like do anything different. I got to work on the Golden Gate Bridge. I took a trip out to Texas with a buddy of mine who started his own moving company, and we did that strictly and solely for his moving company. That was like a big thing, like a cross country move. That was huge for us. And I was just fortunate and grateful to be a part of that. And so things like that, like those little moments like that, like beyond, like just 2021 was just great. Wouldn't take it back for nothing. So, and I did all that without social media. That was the biggest thing. And I don't think any of that would have happened if I was on social media, because I probably would have stayed stagnant, still been caught up in like, what I'm posting or what I'm, instead of actually making those moves that I need to make in my personal life. So, yeah.
And it's funny because you know what, I'm actually considering maybe even pulling the plug again. That's why I asked the question, because I'm just like, I'm thinking about what you just said, and I'm thinking about what my own kind of, my own career growth, my own personal development outside of social media since taking the hiatus, right? And also kind of, like I said, getting involved with so many different kind of things. I mean, it seems counterintuitive. Obviously, like, at our age, I mean, we want to maximize our time, right? Because we want to try to use what we can and have as many experiences as we can. I mean, we're still young, but essentially, I mean, it's just like, I mean, like how many opportunities will we get for that, right? So I think these are just types of things to really consider, and I think it's a good way, to kind of start off. But yeah, man, let's go ahead and also start off with kind of